So today's our topic is food hygiene. What is food hygiene, Atul? What is food hygiene? What is food, Atul? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what is food? What is food hygiene?
To prevent food from
Mm.
germs
Food from the infection, not germs.
infection.
Mm. So, in order to prevent from the diseases from food also few infections are causing, right? Can you give me examples? What type of infection will be caused due to food? If it is infected, means
Constipation.
constipation will cause due to infection.
No, no, ma'am.
Uh,
Dysentery and
hmm.
and
Diarrhea will cause as a symptom. What I'm asking, due to any infection, what type of diseases we can say due to this food infection? Some foodborne diseases are there, no? I'll explain. So, going to the definition, food is a potential source of infection and is liable to contamination by microorganisms at any point during its journey from producer to the consumer. From starting to the producer to the consumer, at any point, food can be infected. Food hygiene, in its widest sense, implies hygiene in the production, handling, distribution and serving of all types of the food. So here food hygiene means what? From starting from the producing to the point to reaching to the consumer, in all ways making the food in a proper way. Widest sense of making the food hygiene is simply called as maintaining of food hygiene, like in the process of production, in the process of handling, in the process of distribution, and also during the process of serving all types of food hygiene should be maintained. So a definite definition is there for this food hygiene. According to WHO, food hygiene refers to all conditions and measures that are necessary during the production, processing, storage, distribution and preparation of the food to ensure that it is safe, sound, wholesome, a food and suitable for the human consumption. So definition for the food hygiene by WHO is what? It refers to all condition in the matter of production, in the matter of processing, in the matter of storage, in the matter of distribution, and also in the matter of preparation. In all these terms, if it is safe to consume by the consumer and as well as suitable for eating, at that time only we are calling it as food hygiene. WHO is given in the if that should be appropriate for the proper storage also, that food should be appropriate for proper distribution also, that food should be very much free from infection from the production point, like that every point should be noted. That is what food hygiene. Is it clear with the definition?
Yes, ma'am.
And next one, the primary aim of food hygiene is to prevent food poisoning and other foodborne illnesses. So here, what is the primary goal in the food hygiene? What is the aim means? To prevent the food poisoning. So you said no, Atul, due to food poisoning or due to some infections, dysentery, diarrhea, you can say. Yes, when food poisoning is there, severe diarrhea will be there. So in order to prevent from that food poisoning, this food hygiene should be maintained. So there are some 4 steps to improve the food hygiene, like cleanliness along the food chain is the major preventive measure to avoid the disease from contaminated food. People should be advised to observe the following household tips. So here are some tips for the food hygiene maintenance. Buy fresh food that looks clean and uncontaminated and has good appearance. It should not have a bad smell, mold or discoloration. If the food is canned, the can should not be bulging, dented or discolored. So whenever we are buying that food from the market, it should be very fresh and clean. Then only we should buy. If in the can that food things are there, we can see certain sauce like this in some cans they will distribute. So while buying them also we need to say if it is sealed one means it should not bulge and change in the color should not be there. Then only it is treated as a like pure one or what we call clean one. So without discoloration and fresh one should be taken. And next, store the food in a safe, cool place. Many foods are best stored in refrigerator. Dry foods such as cereal grains and flours or legume seeds should be left in a cool, dry place in container that prevent rodents and other pests from gaining access to them. So we should also be taking care of like the food should be free from the rodents, and also that food can be like suitable. Many foods can be stored in the refrigerators only, and certain foods like cereal grains and legume seeds are there, no, they can be stored in a cool and dry place. And prepare the food for eating in a clean environment with clean hands and clean utensils, and cook foods such as meat thoroughly to kill all organisms. Uncooked food are safe to eat if peeled. If they are not peeled, washed thoroughly, perhaps in a chlorine solution, will increase their safety. Tomatoes can be dipped in boiling water for 2 minutes or soaked in chlorine solution. Lettuce is very difficult to clean thoroughly and presents a danger. Bananas are peeled and are safe. So here we can see whenever we are preparing the food, that should be boiled very nicely, especially with this meat. Meat consists of many organisms like which cannot be seen through our naked eye. So we should be very careful while cooking this meat. That should be cleaned, and also it should be boiled for much time in order to kill all the organisms. And at the same time, like whatever vegetables are there, like tomatoes, they can be dipped in the boiling water so that all the microbes will be killed. And this bananas and some fruits can be peeled off and can be eaten, which are very safe. And next thing, after the meal, leftover food should be stored safely, and some foods that cannot be stored may be fed to the domestic animals. Food area should be clean, utensils well washed, and garbage buried or burned in some distance from the house. So this after the meal also, like while preparing the meal, the utensils should be very much clean, and they should be very like with clean hands we need to prepare. So then only food hygiene can be maintained. And after the meal also, whatever leftover food is there, that can be stored in the refrigerator. If not, that can be fed to the domestic animals also. In many areas you can see. So that thing also we can do, feeding to the domestic animals, whatever leftover food is there. The next thing is, these tips apply almost equally to small vendor or to those who prepare and sell street foods, although they are not easy to enforce. So mostly this food will be leftover mostly in the like this street sellers will be there, no, there this leftover food can be seen more. So those people can feed to the domestic animals, and in homes naturally required quantity only they will prepare, householders. So these are all steps can improve the food hygiene. And now let us see classification of food hygiene. Here food hygiene can be grouped under the following headings. Like first one is milk hygiene. So milk is an efficient vehicle for a great variety of diseases agents. So we all know from milk also few diseases will be getting. So and here you can see source of infection is the source of infection or contamination of milk baby. So from milk, how the infection can be spread means from the animals, dairy animals which gives milk, and human handlers. Those who are selling milk, their hands should not be contaminated. In that area also the milk hygiene should be maintained, and the environment like contaminated vessels, polluted water, flies, dust, etc. will make the milk unhygiene. So these are the sources of infection. And here, classification of the milk-borne diseases. A joint FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, and WHO, World Health Organization, expert committees in 1970 on milk hygiene classified milk-borne diseases as the following. So here, for as I said, under the classification of food hygiene, maintenance of milk hygiene is the first one. So maintenance of milk hygiene, we have seen that source of infection is from the animals and also human beings, those who are handling the milk, and as well as the environment. These are the sources of infection, and few milk-borne diseases are there. These are few milk-borne diseases. You can see here, important one. So infections transmitted from animals to man. Infection transmitted from milk to man. Here you can see primary from animals to man, tuberculosis, streptococcal infections, brucellosis, staphylococcal enterotoxin poisoning, salmonellosis, Q fever, all these primary importance fevers. Okay, majorly from the animals, these diseases can be spread to the human beings. And next is infections transmitted from milk to man. Here you can see shigellosis, cholera, typhoid and paratyphoid fevers. You all know typhoid is caused by the food poisoning only. Whenever infected food we will eat, at the time only we will see this typhoid. And enteropathogenic E. coli. E. coli is also caused by this food poisoning only. So from milk also it can be transferred to the man. And the lesser importance like cowpox, foot and mouth disease, anthrax, leptospirosis, tick-borne encephalitis, these are also caused from animals to man. And non-diarrheal diseases like streptococcal, staphylococcal food poisoning, diphtheria, tuberculosis, enterovirus, and viral hepatitis. These are also some non-diarrheal diseases which can be spread from the milk to the man. So these are some milk-borne diseases. So here, clean and safe milk. So milk should be kept clean and safe. How it can be done means the safety and keeping quality of milk are related to its microbial content. Production of clean and safe milk, that is healthy and clean animal. Milk from a healthy udder contains only a few organisms and these are relatively unimportant. The premises should be clean where the animal is housed and milked. The milk vessels must be sterile and kept covered. The water supply must be bacteriologically safe. Milk handlers must be free from communicable diseases. Before milking, they must wash their hands and arms. If possible, use milking machines. So here they are explaining about in order to prevent from milk-borne diseases to the human beings, they are giving some guidelines like we need to put the environment where these animals are kept, that should be very clean, and also before milking that hand should be washed, those who are doing. If possible, the machines can be used for milking process, and those who are handling the milk, they should be very careful like washing, they should be free from communicable diseases. If they are infected with some disease, that can be spreaded through milk to all members, so that should be taken care while dealing with the milk. And methylene blue reduction test. Here one test is there. It is an indirect method for detection of microorganisms in the milk. So this test is called as methylene blue reduction test. This test is done for detecting microorganisms in the milk, and the test is carried out on milk accepted for pasteurization. So here pasteurization process is also involved for the detection or removing of the microbes. So it is based on the observation and bacteria growing in the milk bring out about a decrease in the color imported to milk. In conducting the test, definitive quantities of methylene blue are added to 10 ml of milk and the sample is held at a uniform temperature of 37 degrees Celsius until the blue color has disappeared. So here in this methylene blue reduction test, what they are taking this methylene blue compound and they are mixing it in the milk, 10 ml of milk. And at 37 degrees Celsius temperature, they are observing it until the color disappears. The milk which remains blue the longest is considered to be of best quality, and a scale of grading different milk samples on the basis of the time required to reduce a definite quantity of methylene blue has been worked out. So here the milk color which is remaining for larger time within that color only, that is considered as best quality. Whenever they are adding this methylene blue dye, if the milk color is obviously the milk color will turn into like blue color will turn into other color whenever we are mixing with the milk. You can also see whenever you mix this white and blue color, you can see the thickness of the blue color will go. The same way here also, whenever we are mixing this blue color in the milk, what will happen? Up to much time, which milk is having more blue color, that is considered as the quality milk. And the milk which is turning immediately to the blue color is disappearing whenever we are mixing, that is considered as not a much quality milk. So, and the test thus serves as confirmation of heavy contamination and compared with direct counts of bacteria. It saves time and money also. So this is the best method which will save the time and as well as money also. And this is one more test, pasteurization of milk. So important one. So according to WHO in 1970, pasteurization is defined as the heating of milk to such temperature and for such periods of time as are required to destroy any pathogens that may be present while causing minimal changes in the composition, flavor and nutritive value. So pasteurization is nothing but it is a process where what they will do, they will heat the milk up to an extent where all the pathogenic agents will be destroyed and whatever agents which are decreasing the flavor and nutritive values in the milk, that will be destroyed with this pasteurization process. So pasteurization means what? Completely making the quality or quality milk with free of pathogens. That is what pasteurization. Are you following me, guys? Everyone following me?
Yes, ma'am.
So here under the pasteurization also, we are having like methods. The three methods are commonly used. They are, first one is Holder-Watt method. So this Holder-Watt method, in this process, milk is kept at 63 to 66 degrees Celsius for at least 30 minutes and they quickly cool to 5 degrees Celsius. So first method of pasteurization is what? It is a method where what they are doing, they are like heating the milk up to 63 to 66 degrees Celsius. So what is happening immediately? The milk will boil and all the pathogens will be killed and immediately they are cooling the milk to 5 degrees Celsius. That is called as Holder method or Holder-Watt method. And next method is HTST, which is nothing but high temperature short time method. So what they will do, milk is rapidly heated to a temperature of nearly 72 degrees Celsius for at least 15 seconds and then is rapidly cooled to 4 degrees Celsius. So here temperature is increased. In the first method, 66 up to 63 to 66 and 30 minutes. Here temperature increased and time decreased. 72 degrees Celsius and 15 seconds time. Then immediately 4 degrees Celsius cooling of temperature. That's why it is called high temperature short time method. So this is one more method of pasteurization in order to kill all the microorganisms which are present in the milk. And next one is UHT method. It is also called as ultra high temperature method. So milk is rapidly heated usually in 2 stages to 125 degrees Celsius for few seconds only. It is then rapidly cooled and bottled as quickly as possible. So what they will do, in the ultra high temperature, they will heat the milk up to 125 degrees Celsius. So more than a boiling point, they will heat the milk. And after that, immediately they will cool and they will bottle. They will seal in the bottles. So that is also one of the pasteurization method. So these are 3 types of pasteurization methods. Pasteurization is nothing but removing of all the pathogens from the milk to increase the quality, nutritive values of the milk and also the flavor of the milk. So here 3 methods of pasteurization are there, like Holder-Watt method, HTST method and UHT method. Holder-Watt method is a method where 63 to 66 degrees Celsius up to 30 minutes boiling of milk will be done and then they will cool the milk up to 5 degrees Celsius. And next method is high temperature short time method, where they will heat the milk up to 72 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds, then they will cool up to 4 degrees Celsius. And in ultra high temperature, what they were doing, they are heating the milk up to 125 degrees Celsius and cooling, and immediately they are bottling in the bottles as quickly as possible. So these are 3 types of pasteurization. Pasteurization approximately kills 90% of bacteria in the milk, including more heat-resistant tuberculosis, bacillus, and the cube fever organisms. But it does not kill thermoduric bacteria nor the bacterial spores. In order to check the growth of microorganisms, pasteurized milk is rapidly cooled to 4 degrees Celsius. Hygienically produced pasteurized milk has a keeping quality of not more than 8 to 12 hours, at least 18 degrees Celsius. So what they will do means, like by this pasteurization process, almost 90% of the bacteria will be killed. But 10% of bacterial spores, like which are in resting period, the bacteria which are in resting period, their spores cannot be killed by this pasteurization process. But in order to see whether any spores growth is there, they will cool the pasteurized milk up to 4 degrees Celsius and they will see. Because in humidified temperature, the bacterial growth will be more. So in order to check that, they will cool the temperature and they will see if any growth is there, means immediately like they will again do the pasteurization process. And also like a pasteurized milk, whatever is there, that should not be kept up to 8 or to 12 hours. That's all. Within that time, we need to use them, and at 18 degree Celsius. So this is all about the pasteurization and food hygiene. Is it clear? Any doubts are there? Very general topic, okay? Food hygiene is there, and some under the food hygiene, first one is milk hygiene. Only about milk hygiene I explained today. Next one is meat hygiene. That I will explain tomorrow. Is it clear? Any doubts are there? Nothing is there today's class. Food hygiene means making the food free from all the microorganisms to improve the quality, and while from starting from the production to the up to reaching to the consumer, the food should be free from all the pathogens. That is what maintenance of food hygiene according to WHO. And there are some methods of food hygiene, like we need to keep the environment very clean. If whenever we are buying that food, that should be very fresh and that should not be discolored. And we need to store the food at the cool places, and also we need to prepare the food in the clean environment. And also at the same time, whatever leftover food is there, that should be fed to the domestic animals. And under the maintenance of food hygiene, first hygiene is milk hygiene, we have studied today. The source of infections are like from the dairy animals, from the human beings who are handling this milk, and from the environment, like contaminated vessels, polluted water will also cause the milk to get contaminated. So WHO expert committee has classified some milk-borne diseases. These are milk-borne diseases from milk to man. What diseases means? These diseases: typhoid, paratyphoid, shigellosis, cholera, and enteropathogenic E. coli. These all diseases we can see. And clean and safe milk method is there. How to clean the milk? In this method, what we have studied, we need to keep the animals clean, and as well as that animal surrounding should be clean, and whoever milking, their hand should be very hygienic, and they should be free from the communicable diseases also. And at the same time, the milk is having a process which is called as pasteurization, which is the method to kill the microbes. So one more test is also there, methylene blue reduction test. So where whenever we are adding this methylene blue, if the time is taken to discolor the milk, then it is considered as best quality one. Pasteurization, which you have already studied. Pasteurization is a method where making milk free from all the pathogens. 3 types of pasteurizations are there, like Holder-Watt method, HTST, high temperature short time method, and ultra high temperature method. So by this, 90% of the bacteria or pathogens will be killed, and will make the milk quality wise appropriate. Is it clear? Any doubts are there?
No, ma'am.
Easy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tomorrow we'll study about meat hygiene. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.